Okay, welcome to week one of our Author Accelerator program. So, inside the classroom, we're going into Author Accelerator. So, all the paid members will have access to this. All my founding members will have access to the Author Accelerator program. If you're not already a paid member, there's links in the classroom for founding membership. After those 100 spots are filled, the price is going to go up to $47 a month for the program by itself. But the founding membership is going to have access to a lot more stuff for just 35 a month. So if you're not already in there, there's 100 spots only, and a few are already taken. So if you want to become a member, it is good to get in before those spots are taken because it's the best possible deal I can give you guys. Okay, so there's information in the classroom, um, in the Start Here module and the Self-Pub Starter Pack. And you can just go to become a founding member and see the links, and then subscribe on the website there. There's information about what you get access to. And yeah, basically it's the best deal I can possibly give you for the like the most value for the cheapest price. So jump in and join the program. So everyone's going to get access to this week one. And then moving forward for the next 11 weeks, it'll be in the paid program. So here's what we're going to start with. What to expect over the next 12 weeks. Okay, so we're going to pretty much go through a whole roadmap week by week and just break it into sections that everybody can follow along with, about designing, creating, and selling, like publishing and selling your book. So this week we're going to go through market research and niche discovery and like picking our categories. And then like moving onwards, we'll be doing like book outlining and then actual the writing and then editing and proofreading, formatting, etc., etc., etc. And then yeah, launching and promoting. So if you go through the lessons here, um, we're going to go through the lessons on the video today, but um, they'll be all here in writing for you if you need to refer back to it. And there's going to be like documents and tools in here that you guys can utilize as well. Um, but basically, yeah, we're going to be starting today with research. And each week we're going to be doing a Zoom call. So there's going to be um, I'm going to try to do like two Zoom calls, probably one in the morning, one in the afternoon, just so different people in different time zones can join in live. But they will be all recorded for you guys as well and placed into the classroom. So don't worry if you can't make it live, you will be able to see the recordings. I'll try and keep them fairly short so you're not like watching hours and hours and hours of content. Um, and yeah, if you have any questions, please post in the community and I will answer as best I can. So yeah, let's dive right in. So I've got week one here. So market research and niche discovery. So in my mind, this is probably the most important um, aspect that we want to start with. Just because if you go through all the other processes without um, market research, you could finish your whole book only to discover no one wants to buy it. There's no market for it. So yeah, you definitely want to not skip this step. You definitely don't want to slack on this step and kind of half do it. Kind of, it might be the most boring step, but it's the most important step that you definitely want to get done properly and fully. So yeah, we're just going to go through um, Amazon and look at like bestsellers. We're going to go through what they all have in common, basically. Before we get to any of that, we want to look at which um, which category we want to choose first. So there's fiction, non-fiction. There's also a few other categories like um, children's books that are less text-based, they're more image-based. So you want to pick your category first, and you might lean more towards one than the other, just depending on a few different factors. But um, yeah, there's pros and cons to each, and you might want to do a little bit of a mixture of both. And we'll go through that in a second. But yeah, you might be leaning more towards one than the other. And it's good to pick that first. But even if you're not sure about which category you want to choose, we can still come to that later when we do our market research. So don't stress if you're still not sure after this, um, because as we go through the market research, you might then lean more towards one than the other. So fiction. Fiction is invented writing. So if you're more creative, if you're good at like making characters and stories and stuff like that, you might be leaning more towards fiction. Whereas non-fiction is more about factual writing, more information-based content. So you may lean more towards that. Um, so there's pros and cons to both. And to start with, um, I started with non-fiction because in my mind it felt more easier to get information-based stuff when you're doing research. Um, I don't consider myself a very creative minded person. Like I know what kind of stories I like, but the like character development and all that kind of thing, like I didn't feel like I could do that. So I actually started with nonfiction. But yeah, there's pros and cons to both. Um, Fiction's primary goal is to entertain, pretty much. So we all went through COVID, and fiction did really, really well when everyone's stuck inside in lockdown. You know, they want entertainment. So fiction did super, super well during that period. Um, and yeah, you might just want to escape essentially into a story. Sometimes um, similar with like episodes on your favorite TV show. If you're watching Netflix, you might just want to watch something, to kind of escape and just zone out for a bit. So yeah, fiction is really good for that. Non-fiction's primary goal is to inform, educate, solve a problem, or provide insight. So basically, I'd say it boils down to just solving a problem. If you just want to make it one thing. So what problem does this book gonna solve? So we're going to go through pros and cons of fiction. So the pros, we'll go through the pros first. So you can invent worlds, characters, events without needing them to be real. So yeah, if you are a creative person, you might really, really love doing fiction and kind of building whole worlds. I know there's kind of nerdy stuff you can even add in like maps and all sorts of stuff that you can add in like as you build your worlds out. Um, and yeah, the things don't have to be based in reality, basically. So you can have a bit of a play. Um, Fiction readers are very, very loyal, and if they love your world, they will stick with you. So fiction is really great for like repeat buyers, essentially. Um, Especially if you have like a book series. So if they love book one, book two, they're probably going to keep buying book three, four, five, etc. Um, and then essentially, if you have a series or multiple series, um, they will, if they love series one, they might come back and read the next series, or there might be a completely different, like series one, essentially, like again, on a different topic. Um, but yeah, if they love one book, they'll probably keep buying more and more. And if they love like the whole series, they'll probably keep buying another series of yours, or from your one of your pen names if you have multiple pen names. Um, so yeah, you've got the emotional fulfillment, so you can make people laugh, cry, feel understood. So it's deeply rewarding when you have like a review that says, "Oh my God, I relate so much to this character," you know, and people really connect. Like you might have a favorite character in a book or a TV show yourself that you're like, "Oh my God, this person is so, just like me, like I can relate so much to them or the story." And yeah, and you have a long-term fan base. So yeah, they'll keep coming back. Um, like even if you're between series, you're still in the writing process as long as you keep them in the loop. Um, they'll eagerly await your next story or next book series. The cons is marketing is a bit harder to start with. So readers don't need fiction, they choose it. So yeah, convincing them to buy it is tougher at the start. There's a lot more competition. But again, once they're kind of in your ecosystem and they kind of love your writing, they love your characters, they're probably going to keep buying from you. So it's easier for a repeat business, essentially. Um, there's less predictable income um, at the start. So yeah, that is a caveat. Again, for the same reason. So when you're starting, you probably don't have many um, like a backlog of books, like a catalog that readers can jump from. Okay, I've just finished this. I want to read some more. So it can be a little bit tough to get started. So you need to take that into account when you're doing fiction. If you're just starting, you probably want to not stress too much about the first two or three even book series. Like if you're doing like a short series, you might do two or three before you even start making even a little bit of consistent income. Um, so that's why I'd probably recommend like a bit of a mixture between fiction and non-fiction. Yeah, so it can take a little bit longer to build a brand just because you're probably not going to go viral with your first book. So, you know, keep that into account. But you can definitely build up a solid reader base that'll keep coming back again and again over time in the long term with fiction. So, pros and cons of non-fiction. It is easy to sell at the start because people are searching for solutions to their problem. So, when we're doing our market research, we want to specifically target a specific problem that readers are trying to solve because people are searching that in the search box. They will discover your book that way. Um, you can price higher at the start as well with a non-fiction book because you are solving that problem. People are willing to pay more for it if it's like a bigger problem. Um, they're definitely willing to pay a bit more. Um, you can also upsell. So upsell opportunities can lead to courses, coaching, memberships, and consulting. And you can also do your own community, like I'm doing with um, self-publishing. So you guys want to learn a skill, teaching guys to it, okay? You might want to do the same with, let's say, cooking, or let's say, motorbike repair. I don't know, something like that. Whatever people have a kind of love for and a need to solve that problem, they might want to learn a bit more. So you can dominate a whole niche. So you can be the authority, the expert in a small niche. So if there's not a lot of books in that on that topic, but there's a lot of like demand to solve that problem, you can dominate those kind of little categories with nonfiction. And they're also faster to write. So if you know the topic well, or also if you use like AI, like ChatGPT, you can also write these books really, really fast with um, not too much knowledge behind it because um, there's no need to be creative. It's based in fact. So you can do the research, you can pretty much use Google, you can use YouTube, you can use ChatGPT and get that information very, very quickly now. Information is abundant. You're just packaging it up basically. So the cons are might require expertise or authority. So they expect you to know what you're talking about. So if it's all gibberish, or just kind of incoherent, you're not focused on solving the problem, um, or you don't appear to be the authority, um, it might be a bit more difficult. But that's what we're going to be working on with our market research. So you're going to fit in with the other bestsellers instead of just trying to put anything out there. So you want to make it look kind of professional and kind of put together. So there also is less emotional attachment. So people are just coming to solve the problem. They're probably not going to read your other 15 books on the topic. They're probably also not going to buy a full like manual on, every single comprehensive guide on this topic. They probably just want to solve a small problem. So that's why you don't need to write like these big, the Bible of cooking or whatever. You just want to just solve one small specific problem. These books that we're going to be doing are quite short. So under 100 pages, some as short as 30 pages, 30, 50 pages. They only need to be as long as they need to be to solve the problem. They don't need to have fluff, they're just, you know, solve the problem, um, pretty much as clear and concise as possible. So the best way I can describe it is like if you had a problem and I came to you and I said, "Hey, I've got a 300-page book that'll solve your problem, and I've also got a one-page document that'll solve the same problem. Which one are you going to choose?" You're going to choose the one-page document, right? You're not going to read through 300 pages, if it does the same thing in one page. So they only need to be as long as they need to be with nonfiction. So don't worry about them being, very, very, very short. These are ebooks. Okay, so you think like a really short book, like a physical book in your hand, it's going to feel really, really skinny. With an ebook, it doesn't matter because it solves the problem. It's fine. Um, Another con is things can become outdated, especially in certain topics like tech, where things are updated all the time. So you want to choose something that's a little bit more evergreen. So we want to think about that once we're choosing our categories and our niche. So limited storytelling freedom. So you can still tell a little bit of like anecdotes and stories in nonfiction to kind of to make a point, I guess. Um, Especially when teaching like maybe marketing or something like that, just to get people in the right mindset or stuff like that. But obviously, it's a lot more information factual based, and risk of dry content. So if not written well and kind of engages the reader, it can feel a bit boring, like, "Oh, I don't want to finish this." Like, so you can lose attention. So again, that's why I say it only needs to be as long as it needs to be. Keep it as clear and concise as possible. So, what's easiest for beginners? Again, nonfiction is usually easier for beginners to start with, because you don't need to be creative, you don't need to master storytelling. Um, you can use what you already know. So I've been a chef for over a decade, so I could do a whole heap of different like short cooking books, not cookbooks, but like teaching cooking skills, like knife skills, like how to fillet fish. I could do, how to do meat. I could do how to do soups and sandwiches. I could do, all these different types of cooking. I could do um, one on how to use the different utensils in the kitchen, and break it up into lots of different content from things that I already have experience with. Um, so you might have a hobby or passion that you like could just talk for forever about. So that's probably a great topic that you might want to do a book about. Um, but yeah, do your market research first just to make sure there is a market for it. And you can sell based on usefulness. So yeah, you're solving a problem. So nobody asks if you're a famous author if your book title is How to Fix Chronic Back Pain in 30 Days. So that is like solving a specific problem that people have. You don't need to be, super famous or viral. If that solves their problem, they'll be like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. The higher income potential. So short-term income, non-fiction, getting started is usually the winner. So it's easy to get started making money um, quicker if you do non-fiction. But in the long term, fiction's going to win every time. Because of what I said before, you're going to have those repeat buyers. They're going to keep coming back. They're going to want to read the next one in the series if they're loving the characters and they're loving the story. If they love the writing overall, they're going to keep coming back and read the next series that you've got, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So long term, it's a lot easier for fiction. Um, so I'd recommend doing a little bit of both when you're a beginner. Like put out a few non-fiction books to hopefully get a little bit of income coming in while you work on your fiction series. Because you're gonna need a few um like a back catalog of books in fiction before you actually really start seeing that kind of um uplift in kind of income. Um so when it comes to paid advertising, so fiction ads are more expensive again because they're not solving a problem. They're entertainment based. You've got so much competition. Um, but once they are in your ecosystem, like I said, um, you just really need to get them in your email list and then just keep sending them, keep sending them emails and keep them kind of in your kind of zone. So yeah, people need both entertainment and solutions. Just going to move my Zoom thing out of the way. Um, so you can choose whether to focus on one or the other, but I recommend a little bit of both. Um, but even if you just choose one, that's totally fine. As long as you know that each one has like those kind of drawbacks. If you do start with fiction, just know that it might take a little bit longer before you start making money. It might take a few series before you even start making, you know, anything steady, even a small amount of steady income. So I'm going to go to the next lesson. So the market research, why does it matter? Again, it saves time. It helps you um, like put everything together more clearly. Um, it also stops you kind of yeah, putting everything together only to realize there's no one that wants that topic or So yeah, knowing there's a demand means you're going to stay motivated because you know as soon as that's done, you're putting it out there to hungry buyers, hungry readers. And when it matches what people are already looking for, you are pretty much solving that problem for them. You're like, here you go, solved your problem. And they're like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, which helps you stand out as well. So the more sales you get, the more kind of you're going to stand out as well, the more reviews you're going to get, et cetera, et cetera. It kind of snowballs after a while. So we're going to be doing market research on Amazon. Now I'm not going to be teaching publishing on Amazon. We're going to be teaching more publishing on our own websites and kind of a bit wide than just focusing on one platform, just because it's, I guess, like there is um, programs out there that you can look for that just focus on Amazon KDP. We're not going to be focusing on that because it's better to kind of go wider and go kind of sell on your own platform that no one can shut you down. You have a lot more creative freedom. You can also like build an email list on your own website. So Amazon do not give you access to your customers. They keep the emails, they keep the customer names, you don't know anything. So we're going to use their website for data, but we're not going to use their platform like specifically for publishing. But you can if you want to. Um, but we're going to be looking at a platform called Draft to Digital, which publishes on a range of different platforms, including Amazon. Um, but yeah, we're also going to be focusing on our own websites as well to sell directly. So yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff here. So there's live data. So they have bestseller lists on Amazon that you can look at immediately and see what is selling right now, what is the best of the best in each category. And we're going to use that data to kind of model our own books. So when choosing a niche, so these are our like we've chosen like fiction or non-fiction, and then we're going to look at the niche. So we want to look at these five things. Is there a demand? So are readers actively buying books in this niche? So you'll see how when we look at Amazon bestseller lists, you'll see how much people are buying by their bestseller rank, like overall on the store, and the competition as well. So if all of the books in that category are selling really well, then their ranks will be quite high. So you'll see how much competition it is based on that. If the top books are kind of a really good rank, but like as you go down the bestseller list, it's a little bit less. Like you might be able to jump in there and easily get into the top 10 of that category fairly quickly. You want to look at the gap. So again, we're looking at what is the problem that we're solving. And the gap is the things that are missing in the bestsellers. You kind of want to include that, and people tell you in the reviews. So the book's on Amazon. Scroll down to the reviews, and people will pretty much tell you exactly what's in the book. So you don't even have to read the books. You can just look at the reviews. They'll say, "Oh, this is what the book is about." Oh, I kind of wish, I was looking for this. It didn't really answer my question. And then I was like, right, I'm writing that down. My book's going to have something like that. If you see that kind of comment again and again and again, I wish it had this. I wish it had this. It didn't answer this question. That's what you need to answer. That's what you need to fulfill. So, passion, do you have the passion in the topic? So, for me, I have been cooking for, over a decade. I've definitely, have the knowledge. I definitely have the passion. I've stuck with it. I know a lot of stuff. So I know that if I ever did like a series on cooking, like I know I'd stick with it. I know I'd stick with it. Um, so yeah, with nonfiction, more so, like fiction's a lot easier to keep going with. But with nonfiction, you might only do like a few books in that on that topic, um, before wanting to switch to something else. But it's better to kind of stay in the one category and keep going for longer, just so you have that authority about you. You seem to be the expert. If I have one book on motorcycle repair, and then I have one book on cooking, and then I have one book on puppy training, and then I have one like I don't seem the authority on any of those because, how can you be an expert in everything? So we use pen names to kind of separate these kind of different topics for nonfiction and same for fiction. So you don't want to be publishing um, something in sci-fi and then something in mystery and then something in fantasy and then something in adventure and then something in, you want to be one category, one pen name and stick with it for longer and then appear like the authority. Um, yeah, so you need to have that passion to kind of stick with it. So when we're doing a market research, make sure that you have well, make sure that you can see yourself doing that for a long time, like several like books, like let's just say 10 books. Do you see yourself doing 10 books on this topic? You know, and longevity. So you want to pick something that's evergreen as well. So will people still care about this months or even years from now? So again, with the cooking example, people always love good food. I reckon people are always going to need knife skills. People are always going to need to know, how to cook the best stuff. That's, I think, going to be a year-round topic, so evergreen. It's not seasonal, um, like I could do Christmas cooking. That's only going to be seasonal around, maybe October, November, December, and then it's going to cut off sharply right on Christmas. Um, so you don't want to pick something too seasonal. You don't want to pick something that's going to just drop off as a passing trend. Okay, so with our niche, we're going to start with broad ideas. So step one. So the top three niches in fiction are romance, number one. So that is the most competitive, but also highest selling genre in fiction. So romance. The next two are mystery and sci-fi. And then I'm not sure after that, but those are the top three. In non-fiction, it's health, wealth, and relationships. So stuff like personal finance, fitness, and mental health, that's be health. And then relationships, you could go into dating and all sorts of stuff. Um, so I pick something like a broad idea. You don't have to pick those top three, but those are kind of like the best selling ones. And then we'll work on searching those ideas on Amazon. So yeah, you might have something that you are more drawn to. And there's bestsellers in every category. So don't stress about, picking the wrong one at this stage. Just pick a broad category. So I like sci-fi, I like time travel, so I'm going to do like something maybe sci-fi. And we're going to go to Amazon. Okay, so on the Amazon homepage, it may look a little bit different for you. I know Amazon do like change it up and do different styles for different people, so don't stress if it doesn't look exactly the same on your end. They do like changing stuff and um, making it look different sometimes. So on the homepage, you want to click on the category category button. There, I'll refresh. Okay, so click on the category button, and then we want to go to the Kindle e-readers and books, and then we want to go to the Kindle books, Kindle store, Kindle books. Okay, so these are all the ebooks that Amazon have. So I want to go to bestsellers and more. Sorry, Amazon bestsellers. That's not the one. Kindle ebooks. How do I get to ebooks? Hmm. Okay, we'll just use books. So Amazon bestsellers. So we want to go look at sci-fi. So we want to look at something sci-fi. So we want to just find that category. And where is that? Science fiction and fantasy. And then we just want to look at all these different subcategories essentially and just see what is working. Now, I have a Chrome extension that shows up these boxes here, these gray boxes, which show um, the rank. So these books are doing really, really well at the moment. So number four in the Kindle store. So number four in all of Amazon, essentially, as an ebook. Um, and number five. So these ones are doing really, really well. So that's a lot of competition. So you might want to narrow down which one you want to target. But obviously, there's a market for these ones. I'll just show you that extension. So if we go back to here, I think it's down the bottom one. So in the last topic, I think it's all the way down the bottom. Where is it? Here it is. So there's a link here for, it's called Amazon, DS Amazon Quick View, and it's a Chrome extension. So it looks like this one. So if you go to the Chrome Web Store, you can search it on there. I've got a link in the classroom. So it just adds pretty much these the rank on the all of Amazon, and then also has the rank on the subcategories. So each book on Amazon has three subcategories that they can go into, which fit into. Um, so this one's more romantic fantasy. Romantic fantasy. So it's number one in ebooks and in books. So physical books and romantasy. So that's kind of like a romantic fantasy. Um, so yeah, at a glance, I can see without clicking into the actual description um, where they're ranking and how well they're doing. And then these show like 100 different of the top bestsellers in that category. So there's usually 2 pages of 50. And if you scroll down, you can kind of see their rank there in the bestsellers. So top 50 and then top 100. So you can have a bit of a look at how well they're selling. You can kind of see how many reviews they're getting. So they're selling pretty well in this category. So we want to kind of niche down a little bit. So this is like the broad category. So obviously science fiction is one of the top three, like I said. So I'm just going to go into science fiction and kind of go a bit deeper. So bestsellers in science fiction. This one's number 8 in Audible. So number 61. So these are out of like millions of books. These are doing like in the top 100. So again, we want to kind of niche down a little bit more. So I like time travel. So I'm going to go into time travel. Okay, and we're going deeper and deeper again. So this is the top 100 books in top 100 bestsellers in time travel fiction. And then you can kind of see, the ranks in the few hundreds up here. Again, this is out of like millions of books on the Kindle store. And you kind of just want to see where they're ranking. So a good place to start if you're brand new is probably you want to see a category with um, maybe between 25,000 to 50,000 rank in the top like 20 roughly. So if I scroll down, these are in 3,000, 5,000. you know. So this is still under 10,000, ranked number 30. So it might be a bit more competitive in this one. So I might, if I'm just starting, not choose this one, or I might want to go even deeper still. But let's just choose a different category. Galactic Empire, let's have a look. And the extension's just loading the ranks for me, so I don't need to click in and out of every single one and open up new tabs. So it's definitely a good tool to use. It's free as well. It's just an extension in the Chrome browser. So these ones start at 2,000. So there's a little bit less demand, but they're still selling pretty well. So anything under 50,000 is pretty much getting regular, or anything under like maybe 100,000 rank is getting a couple of sales, like maybe one sale a day. So these are selling like a few every day. So still doing pretty well. And let's have a look down at the top 20. So 14,000. So it might be still a little bit more competitive, but it's getting there. It's getting about that range that we want. If you're just starting, if you have a bit of a back catalog, you might be able to enter kind of something like this. If you're doing science fiction, let's have another look. Let's do cyberpunk. And yeah, you just want to have a bit of a look. So this one's a bit more competitive as well. And just have a look through all the categories and kind of narrow down. Sometimes there's like heaps of subcategories in a genre, and sometimes not. But yeah, we're just going to be looking at like essentially the top 10, and we're going to model what's working. So let's just go back to Galactic Empire. So that's a bit less competition, but still selling pretty well. So what we're going to look at is all the points of commonality in the top 10. So um we're going to be looking at if I come back, like all the different colors, like the location of the title. So is it down the bottom? Is it up the top? Is it like bold, like um a serif font? Is it like a sans serif font? Um yeah, and what kind of stands out? So there's a bit of orange here, orange and blue. We've got red. Um, there's actually a mixture of colors, but I think orange stands out and blue stands out to me. Um, maybe a bit of gray, like yeah, orange and blue. There's blue, yep, blue and yellow. This is blue and orange. So I would probably focus on blue and orange for my cover. So what else? So if my title's down the bottom, title's up the top, title's down the bottom, and I'm in the middle, down the bottom, down the bottom, down the bottom. So what's the most common? And kind of model that. And then, yeah, you actually do want to kind of do a bit of a deeper dive on a few of these. So I'd say the top 10. You can do top 20 if you want to go a bit deeper with the data, but have a bit of a look at their description, their blurb, and what do they talk about? Like, what do they have in common? Are they writing about kind of the characters? Are they writing about the story? Are they writing about do they leave a cliffhanger here or something like that? Are they talking more about the author? Maybe they are a traditionally published person or a self-published author. So you can kind of track, if there's lots of traditionally published people in this category, you might want to avoid it, um, just because they have a lot more like buying power with spending ads and stuff like that, to reach the top. Um, but yeah, you just want to look at pretty much all the different points of commonality, and I'll give you guys a checklist as well. Um, and then yeah, it shows like customers also bought or read something like this. So you can use like, okay, these people are also interested in these. So you can kind of see most of these covers that people also read are orange. So orange, red, yellow, and a little bit of blue, or blue with a bit of orange. So same kind of thing. And Down here is what it pulls the data from, that extension. So these are the bestseller rank. So 2000, and then it captures these three subcategories. So this is why we don't need to click in because I'm using that extension. But this is what we want to look at. How well is it doing in the whole Kindle store? So all of Amazon, it's number 2,328. And it's like number one in this category, number three in this category, and then this one, it's probably picked a bad category. It's number 1,400. So it might want to actually change this category to something more relevant to it. But yeah, you might just want to look at kind of which categories are in common in the top 10. Maybe they're all targeting, well, they're all targeting the one that you looked at, which was Galactic Empire Science Fiction. But you can also look at the other ones that you didn't look at and might see a few other subcategories that they might be targeting. So this one's specifically ebooks. So we might want to actually look at the ebook category and just click on that. So now it says it's the same one in ebooks. So now all the ebooks, so it's number three now. So I might want to look at ebooks and do the top 10 there. They're similar, pretty much similar books. I don't think they're all different. But yeah. So in ebooks, it's not selling as well as the physical book, but not by much. And yeah, we're going to go through all of the different points of commonality when we model our books. Not just the cover, but what's the book about? You know, we want to look at like the reviews and read the description. Like, are they all talking about a spaceship? Are they all talking about, traveling to a different planet or stuff like that? And model our story around that. Are the characters, you know, in a relationship or will they, won't they kind of, is there any kind of romantic subplot? All these little different things that you might want to model when you're writing your book. So yeah, we want to go into each one. So we're just going to we're going to this one this time. And we also want to look at, as well as the blurb and everything like that, we want to look at the reviews. So if you scroll down even further, you can look at the top reviews and you can look at more reviews. So um, a lot of the time, readers will actually just spoil the book for you. They'll tell you exactly what's in the book, and that's exactly what you want when you're modeling. So you want to be like, oh, this is great. So they'll tell you what they like, they'll tell you what they don't like. So if this is 5 stars, they love the book. Okay, so they gave a little bit about what the book is. Um, this is quite a short one. There's probably more reviews we can have a look at. Um, maybe not. Okay, there's only two reviews. So we want to look again. We'll look at the next one. But yeah, they'll pretty much spoil the book for you. This was a long one. So I really enjoyed the book. Storyline was original. Um, so this person enjoys sci-fi. Hey, this person's 70. That's a good, 70-year-old woman, enjoys sci-fi, likes original stories, likes a little bit of mystery. And yeah, you just want to write down all these little bits into a Word document, and then we'll consolidate all of it later. Um, so this person gave 4 stars. Um, so not a fan of wizards, but the story did them quite well. So it tells you it's inside a space station. Okay. So you might just want to model, okay, my story is going to be in a space station. It's going to be on this different planet. It's going to have a little bit of the magic. It's going to have this, you know, and just read through all the reviews and see what they like, and then also see what they don't like. So unnecessary backstory. So yeah, you might want to jump straight into the story, basically. Something's already happening, you know. They're already in the middle of a war or something like that, right? Instead of the characters wake up and then something happens, right? And they get a phone call and then something like they're already like the guns like they're fighting the enemy, they're in the war right now. It's straight into the action, book page one. So yeah, you might want to take that into account. And yeah, just read through all the reviews. There's a lot of reading. There's a lot of, um, consolidating data when we're doing this. But this is all exactly what we want. So yeah, if we go back to um, our broad ideas, so we've got those ideas, and we've just checked our bestseller lists. So we want to look at the top 100 in each one and look at the ranking. Okay, so are they selling well? So if they're in the top 100,000 in the paid Kindle store, not the free one, so make sure in the paid, like the actual have a price, not free. That means they've got steady sales. So free books will sell like really well because they're free. But you want to look at the paid ones. So anything under 100,000, they're getting at least like one sale a day or every 2 days, which is pretty steady. So you want to kind of target somewhere in the middle of the 25,000 to 50,000 range as a new author. Um, doesn't have to be strictly that. Like if it's 55 or 60, that's fine. Um, but that's somewhere kind of where you want to be, like a sale a day, one book sale a day. Um, and you want to look for these green flags. So multiple self-published authors ranking in that top 100. So if they're all traditionally published, it might be a bit more competitive for you. If they're more self-published, um, it's a lot more, likely that you can also jump in there. So books priced competitively. So on Kindle, um, on Amazon Kindle, um, Amazon kind of rewards you for having a book between 2.99 and 9.99. So you'll probably see most books priced between that range. Um, but if you see like the top 10 are like, 15, 20, $25, you probably want to avoid that because you probably there's a lot of competition and they can um, kind of outrank you paying higher prices. Yeah, so you want to price your book between somewhere between this range. Um, and then yeah, you want to see topics that solve clear problems for nonfiction or deliver really good experiences for fiction. Okay, so we investigated subcategories. So as we go through, there might be one that's more competitive. So we're just going to gonna avoid that one, have a bit of a look around. But yeah, even if you don't find anything in, you know, science fiction, like I just did, go back to your broad category, choose something else. Like, don't get locked down too much, but there's should be something that you can jump into as a beginner in pretty much every category. Okay, so um, yeah, so we're evaluating all that competition and we're just collecting a lot of data. So bestseller checklist. This is the bestseller checklist. And I've just got a little bit of how to use the checklist. And pretty much, yeah, we're looking for all those common elements that I described. Okay, so we've picked our niche, we've searched our bestseller lists, and we're looking for patterns. Okay, and we're writing all those down. So um, this is our checklist, and I've got a Google Doc link to the page here. So we want to look at all these points of commonality. So the title structure, is it short or long? And we might be like, okay, it's 3 to 4 words. Okay, short 3 to 4 words, most of them. So that's the top 10. We want to look at the top 10 or the top 20 in each bestseller list and kind of write down for that category, for that niche, Are most of the titles short or long? So if most of the titles have just 2 words or 3 or 4 words, that's pretty short. If most of the titles are quite long, write that down. It'll depend on fiction or non-fiction, but is there like a hook or keyword focused on most of them? Similar wording patterns. Okay, you want to look at colors and color design of the cover. Is the font more bold? Some um, categories have more like script, curly kind of font. Um, Kind of, are they just solid color text, like just one plain color? Or they have a bit of like 3D effect to them? Um, and just see like the most in that kind of category. Um, yeah, what's kind of common? So the book length. If we go back to Amazon, we can look at the book length as well. So this is a book, so it'll show you somewhere here, I think. So it'll show how long it's been on Amazon, and it'll show you, oh, here we are, print length, 388 pages. So that's nearly 400 pages, pretty long. So you can kind of look at the top 10, top 20, and then see roughly the average page length. Okay. Um, and then in that category, which like how long should your book be for that category? Um, Prices. You can also look at the paperback prices and hard like box set prices for the same book, and just see, when you get to that later, you might want to publish a paperback of your ebook. So you might just want to collect that data now while you're doing it. So you can use that for the future as well. And then, yeah, write down all the categories and all the kind of subcategories that they can kind of go into. So that when it comes to maybe running ads or something in the future, it might like all this data is going to be really, really useful for you in the future. So yeah, there's a checklist here. Down the bottom, I've included it as a Google Doc, and it just looks like this. So I've just put at the top, do not request edit access, because I'll get an email saying, can I edit this thing? Okay, I'll just put click file and make a copy. So all you need to do is click file, make a copy. Super, super easy. And then you will get this document in your own Google account, Google Docs account, and then you can edit it like this. So right now, if you clicked on the thing and just came on this page, you couldn't edit it, but if you make a copy, it'll just say points of common points of commonality checklist copy, and then you can edit it as you like and make more copies of it and do whatever you like. So I might just say 3 to 4 words. So instead of saying short, most of them have 3 to 4 words. Okay, emotional hook or keyword focused. You can say keyword, um, you know, how to uh, fillet a fish. And that's the keyword that I want to target. Okay, so you can go through and kind of fill this in. And then later on, we're just going to kind of consolidate all this data when we model our book. So yeah, the more information that you get, the better. It's going to make it easier in the long run because you're going to know exactly which this document to refer back to when you're doing each point of creating the book. And yeah, so it's a little bit boring, I will admit, but it is super, super important. So there's also, yeah, down here there's the link to the extension on Google. So it'll just make it that much easier to do research if you can see at a glance those rankings. So I definitely recommend getting this Chrome extension. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much um, what we want to do for the most part. And then the last step is consolidating all the research. So what I would do after you have that kind of checklist done is just copy paste it all into ChatGTP and just get it to summarize all of the patterns. So summarize all the answers and kind of give you a bit of a model about what you want to do for your book. So pretty much instead of you doing it by hand, you can just ask ChatGPT to kind of summarize it all for you and give it like a paragraph or a bullet list, and then kind of you might want to um, have multiple copies of the checklist in the one document. So I might want to just copy all of this and then paste it down the bottom and start again for a slightly different category, and then again and again and again. And then I can download this document. So I've go file and then download as like a PDF or something, and then upload that to ChatGPT. If you have the paid version of ChatGPT, you can do this. If not, you might just have to copy paste by hand. Um, but yeah, you can ask it to kind of identify the patterns that it sees and which category might be the best to go into. Um, so the more data you have, the better. Um, when choosing the niche. So this is step one. Um, so sometime over the next week, guys, if you can do a bit of research and kind of lock in what category you want to do, so fiction or non-fiction. So and then yeah, research the market. You might pick your broad category and then narrow it down to something a bit more easy to get into. Now, most of this would be the best, like really relevant if you're publishing to Amazon directly, but don't stress it if you are not. We're not going to be teaching Amazon. Um, it still will apply to other platforms and other, like if you're selling directly on your own website, because you know there's a market out there that want this kind of thing. So people are still searching on Google, so your website will come up on Google. Um, the only time they won't is if they're searching directly on Amazon. They'll only show up on Amazon stuff. So yeah, there's still people searching on Google for the same problems. There's still people, searching on YouTube for the same problems. So later on, we're going to be doing like how to build an email list and build our own website and kind of get traffic to it. Um, but because Amazon is one of the biggest bookstores in the world, we definitely want to use their data to our own advantage. So that's why I'm saying use Amazon, even though we're not going to be publishing just on Amazon. Cool. So I think that's pretty much covered um, things for the most part. If you guys have any questions, jump in now.
Glenn, I have a question.
Yeah.
So let's let's say that I do all this work and I create the book. Um, is there any way that somebody can, like when you put it out there, somebody can just copy and take all my hard work out, and I'm just I lose my ownership of it with these ebooks?
No. So you have copyright. So as soon as you write the book, you own it. As long as you're not copying other people's stuff, like
Yeah,
plagiarizing word for word.
yeah.
Like you can't use anyone else's
Okay.
um
So, no,
like
because I
text.
have seen that there are some courses that people, when people do that, they just copy somebody's ebook and just put it in their websites and stuff like that. That's why I'm asking.
Like like steal it.
Yeah. Like, how do you
Or
own
like
it? Like,
make
you
their
have to
own
do the
version.
copyright.
Um, well, you can make the document itself only readable on one like platform. That makes sense.
Okay.
But I recommend you don't do that just because it kind of alienate, like it kind of alienates your readers and stuff like that. With ebooks, if you're selling on your own website, you're probably going to sell either through like a PDF,
Mhm,
or if you want your readers to be able to use it on like an e-reader, like a Kindle device or any other like e-reader, it'll
mhm.
be like an EPUB or similar file. Um, but yeah, you might want to sell like multiple versions of the same thing. People can take it and just use it, but it'll have your name on the if unless they give it a new cover or something like that, they could probably do it.
Mhm.
But um, yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can really do to stop them from doing it, but you can obviously fight it legally. If they actually plagiarizing your work, you would have evidence that it's yours because you published it first. You'd
Because
have all
my
the original
friend did
files
it,
and
and
stuff. Pardon?
my friend, she was just writing an ebook and put it into a course and everything, and she worked hard on that. It's not a book ebook per se, but it's for a course for online business.
Yep.
And then somebody just word to word took it and put a new cover and just tried to, and she was giving free ebook to her people,
Mm.
and then somebody just took it and she started selling it and stuff like that. So I'm just asking, like, you work hard on your book, and then yeah.
Well, yeah, someone could do that. Like,
Okay.
there's nothing really
Anything can
stopping unless you restrict it, so like they can only read on like behind a paywall or something online or something like that. There's no way you can really restrict it. Like, um, yeah, they'd need to, yeah.
yeah,
I
just
wouldn't stress too much about it, honestly.
okay.
Like a lot
My
of these
other question.
a lot of these people don't have the like the marketing skills to really do it themselves. That's why they're stealing other people's stuff. So they're still not gonna. They're looking for the easy win.
Mhm.
So they're not out there like heavily marketing it, stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, so even if they do steal it, they're probably not making that much sales on it. But if you find that they do, and you found that they've plagiarized your stuff, you always have that kind of legal option to fight it because there's copyright.
Mhm.
So yeah, you have the rights to your stuff, and you can
Mhm.
always like sue someone if they steal your like
Okay.
plagiarize your content. But yeah, what we're doing with market research is modeling what's working. So we're not copying anyone.
Yeah, no, I
We're
know
kind
what
of
we're doing, but I'm saying that after you
yeah,
do your work and
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
we do honest work, and then somebody
yeah.
just
So
with
I
ebook.
I I just offer it as a PDF, like so you can
Mhm.
use it on any. You can use it on your phone. You can use it on your laptop. You can use it where any device you like. But then like an ebook readable kind of e-reader kind of file type as well, and I just give them access to it. Like they still need to buy the book in the first place to be able to kind of do whatever they want with it. Um, but you can also add like we've got copyright on it anyway. You can also add like a little legal disclaimer thingy in the book, just saying you're not
Okay,
authorized to you know redistribute or sell the book to anyone else. It's for personal use only.
sure.
And yeah, you can always fight it legally. So if you find them making thousands and thousands of dollars with your content, you can sue them for damages and hopefully get all that money.
Mm.
So yeah, you are protected. So I wouldn't stress too much you know, about that.
My other question is
Yeah.
like, you said that even before, organize. What is the best organizing method that you're using to keep track on your thoughts and ideas to create, like, these things? Because sometimes these thoughts and ideas coming up in there while you're cooking, while you're driving, or something like that. So, but all these ideas that you're having, you have to have a place to put it in there, and then you have to organize all these
Mhm.
thoughts into a one story. You know what I mean?
Like all the
Like,
research and data. Is that what you're saying?
pardon, pardon, I'm sorry.
All the research data.
Yeah, not research data. I mean, the ideas. Let's say I'm into nonfiction, right? So I
Yep.
like the book. Let's say my niche is like relationships. And so I have the ideas coming up while I'm talking to someone. And so I'm just writing that because to me, like I'm just having too many papers. And then
Yep.
later I'm just thinking, where should I incorporate this thing into my story or something like that? So it's
Yep.
kind of a,
I do things on Google Docs or Google Sheets,
okay.
because it's online and I can access it from the app on my phone. So even if I'm out and about and I have an idea, I just jump in there and just add that in there. And then I can jump on my laptop when I get home and it's in there as well. Um, so I find like, yeah, any ideas, I just jump in there and put it like that. But I'll also, yeah, do the research on it as well. So it might be a good idea in theory, but then actually when you do the research, it's like, oh, there's not that big a market on it. So
Okay.
yeah, but I still have something I can consolidate it no matter where I am. Like most people have their phone on them all the time. So just having like the Google Docs or Google Sheets app on your phone, just jump in there, add it to that, and then yeah, you've got it when you get home and can kind of work on a bigger screen and kind of do a bit more to it. Um, when I was like publishing, like when I was working like ages ago, I used to go into work early. I started like 6 in the morning, but I'd go into work a little bit earlier and just do little bits of editing and formatting on my phone just through Google Docs. So the actual manuscript itself, just on Google Docs, so I can do it from anywhere and just do like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And yeah, I found it really good.
Okay.
So even people like that are a little bit like short on time can like jump in and do it. So that's why I kind of do everything kind of like that. It's all in one place.
Sure. Because sometimes ideas come in most unexpected times, and then at that
Yeah,
time it was so good you can just
something to
write
write down.
pages and pages, but you're not in the wrong place, right? And so yeah,
Any other
thank you.
questions?
No, good,
That's it.
thank you.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording. Actually, before I do, share my screen again. Before I do, I just want to let everyone know again. Um, the next week we're going to do another Zoom call. It's going to be on what is it on? So outlining the book. So after we've got all our data, we're going to use that to kind of outline all the points of our book. So even the cover, we're going to be like, okay, all this data we're going to put together, and then outline the um like the chapters, I guess, and kind of narrow things down from there. Um, if you want to be a part of that, it will be same time in the calendar. There will be replays for it for paid members. It'll be in the program. Um, but yeah, next week onwards, it'll just be the paid members only. So if you're a member of the Author Accelerator program, you will get access to these live calls and the replays. And yeah, like I mentioned before, I'm not opening this up for sale yet. The only thing I'm selling at the moment is the access to being a founding member for 35 a month. And if you go into the Start Here module or the Self-Pop Starter Pack, there's the same um, info to become a founding member. It tells you what you're going to get access to. And but it's pretty much you're going to get everything that I make, um, like all the digital content that I make. So course like mini courses, website and email templates, different tools and stuff like that. So all the digital content, you're going to get access to that for 35 a month. You're going to get access to the Author Accelerator program. You're going to get access to um, a discount on coaching. So not like the full amount included because it does take up my time to do one-on-one coaching. Um, And the only other thing you're not going to get access to is the um like tech help to get like tech services, like to set up your own website and stuff like that if you need extra help. Um, but everything else you're pretty much going to get access to for one low price, 35 a month. So I wanted to make it like a no-brainer deal. And it's limited to only the first 100 people. So there's still under 100 people in the community right now. So if you guys wanted to jump in, um, you, while the opportunity is there, like before I start running ads and before you guys start using your affiliate links like crazy, which you should be using already. Um, yeah, definitely take advantage of this opportunity before the price goes up because the program itself will be 47 a month after the 100 spots are gone. And that's just for the program. Like everything else, like the website templates are going to be like individually priced. The mini courses, I'm going to do mini courses on like Canva for like book design, book marketing, and stuff like that. I'm going to do mini courses on ChatGPT to how better utilize that for your writing and kind of ideas and stuff like that. And yeah, they're all going to be individually priced. So yeah, I wanted to consolidate everything in there and give a discount every single month. So that's $12 discount just on the program. So you're saving $144 a year just on the program itself. Um, yeah, I wanted to make it a no-brainer. Plus, um, soon they've announced in the classroom, um, we're going to have access to monthly subscription courses. So what does that mean? So if I go into the edit course here, I can set a buy now price and it's like a one-time payment. But they're introducing a monthly subscription very soon, which is why I'm going to introduce here. And I can also turn on an affiliate program for this program. So it'll be uh, $47 a month with a 40% commission if you invite someone into the community and then they purchase this. So recurring commission. So definitely be using your um, referral links, your invite links right now. Um, but yeah, if you invite three people into the community and they purchase, that pretty much covers your own membership. If you're in the founding membership, you only need to invite two people and it covers you 35 a month. Um, so yeah, there's so many different ways that I want to introduce that'll help you guys um, in terms of tools and templates and stuff like that, but also giving guys income streams in terms of um, affiliate links and affiliate marketing. So yeah, that's everything for today, guys. So if you're interested in founding membership, there's links in the classroom. And if you are part of the founding membership, you're also in the Author Accelerator program, then you'll be able to join in our live call next week and going onwards. So yeah, this is a free call for everybody, and this is going to be recorded and put into the classroom. So everyone's going to have access to this one. After the 100 spots on the founding membership are gone, the yeah, everything's just going to be priced individually, 47 a month for the Author Accelerator. But yeah, don't stress about the price going up because you still have access to affiliate links. So the community is going to stay free. Okay, community is going to stay free to join with paid things in the classroom. So subscriptions in the classroom for the program. If you invite people into the free to join community and they ever buy something that has the affiliate program turned on, which most things will, except for coaching, um, you guys are going to get a 40% commission for that. And the subscription courses mean that you guys are going to get monthly recurring commissions if you invite someone in and they buy a subscription. So yeah, there's a bunch of different ways that you can do that with your links. You can send it to people by email. You can send it to people on social media. I've just introduced something into the classroom in our merch page, where I will turn your invite link, your affiliate link, into a QR code and stick it on the back of one of our community t-shirts. So community t-shirt I'm wearing right now. So Publishing Creators Academy. Yeah, we'll actually turn your um, personal invite link your into a QR code. So if you're out and about and a curious human wants to scan the back of your t-shirt and join the free to join community, they are linked to you. If they ever buy something in the classroom, then you'll get a commission. Like, how easy is that? I want to make it as simple as possible for you guys. So no matter if you're a founding member or not, there's like different ways to make money with either self-publishing, which is going to be what the main course is about, but also just being a member. You can make this an income stream just being a member, just being a free member. But yeah, jump in and share the community. We want to help grow, and in the future, I also want to bring in a few like maybe guest speakers to teach in a few different things as well. So I've also got a few other links in there in the classroom to other communities as well. Yeah, so in the future, we'll have a bit of a look at different marketing on like Pinterest and different like affiliate marketing skills as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, if you're interested, I'll see you guys next week.